Hey there folks, Antar1011 here, and I am bringing you yet another Pokemon Battle Revolution 4th generation battle. This is an OU battle against Dissuto. Looking at his team, it's a pretty interesting team. Heatran gives this team that I have a lot of trouble, a lot of trouble. I don't really have any good counters for Heatran, especially if it's Scarf-Tran, because my Empoleon is running a slower set and doesn't really like taking Fire Blast very well. But, you know, it's just one Pokemon, and in the past I've actually been trying to stall out Heatran whenever I faced it. So anyway, my opponent's going to lead off with Gliscor. As I lead off with Crobat, I figure he's just going to try to start up Rock's first turn, and I'm just going to go ahead and taunt him. Easy peasy. He goes for the Stealth Rock, and I'm like, how does he outspeed a Crobat? And I realize he is Scarfed. That is a Scarfed Gliscor. And so my taunt is going to do absolutely nothing except for, well, I mean, he was going to have to switch one way or the other on the next turn. So that is a really bad first turn for me. Not that my team minds the rocks too much. I don't think I have too many Pokemon that are weak to it. But, you know, it's nice to not have hazards up. So he's going to switch out, and I am probably going to want to switch out. So I go for the U-turn just to scout out his switch, see who he's going to send out. He sends out Aggron. An interesting choice. Aggron is pretty menacing, but it's not really the biggest threat I can imagine. I go out into Empoleon. Empoleon should be able to outspeed him. 2x effective Hydro Pump, or I go for the Grass Knot, and based on that thing's massive bulk, massive weight, Grass Knot will do a whole lot of damage. So I decide I'm going to go ahead and go for the Grass Knot, just because I don't want Hydro Pump to miss. He's going to go ahead and switch out. Yeah, this is the other reason that I thought he might send out Gastrodon, and Gastrodon would just get the Storm Drain from Hydro Pump. This is Gen 4, not Gen 5, so I don't think it gets the special attack boost. But still, this turned out to be an excellent prediction, and I take out his Gastrodon first turn, so that is great. That is an electric type immunity gone, that is a water type immunity gone, and I am in a pretty happy situation. So now he goes ahead and sends out, Breloom. Not going to want to take a Spore with my Empoleon, not going to want to take a Mach Punch or a Sky Uppercut, so I go ahead and go out into Stella, my Crobat, predicting that he might go for the Fighting type move, in which case I 4x Resist. Instead, he goes for the Spore. That's really, I mean, if I've got to have one Pokemon asleep, it might as well be my Crobat, although I look at my team and realize really, Crobat's the best counter to this Breloom, and this Breloom is a pretty big threat. It's Poison Healed, of course. So I go ahead and send out Pazuzu, my physically defensive Zapdos, knowing that even as this guy carries Stone Edge, I don't have too much to fear. His Stone Edge misses, but yeah, it's non-stab, and I'm not really very afraid. But here's the problem. My only move that I can use against Breloom is Heat Wave, and he's got that Heatran, and he doesn't actually predict it this turn. But he could have easily predicted it, and I was predicting him to switch out into Heatran, which is why I went for Discharge. Discharge does a massive amount of damage, gets him to under half, and I get him paralyzed. Not that that mattered. I mean, I'm faster. It is a Zapdos, even though I don't run very many speed EVs. Unless this is running a very strange set, I was going to outspeed. So that is a dead Aggron, and I'm doing pretty well for myself right now. I've got one Pokemon asleep, but I've taken out 2 of his. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good right now. My opponent's now going to send out Gliscor, which is Scarfed, but you know what? I can take a Stone Edge, I'm pretty sure, especially if it's not a banded Stone Edge. So as you see, Stone Edge does just about half. I really should have gone for Rooster to scout out what he was going to do. Now I know he's Scarfed, so that's going to give me a lot of help in terms of switching out into my next Pokemon. I can switch out into Empoleon, knowing that Stone Edge is resisted. Instead, I think I'm gonna stay in and go for the Heat Wave. He misses a Stone Edge, which is a little bit of unfortunate hacks. Oh, I stay in and go for Roost. Never mind, I thought that was a strange move that I would go for another Heat Wave based on the amount of damage. So now he's going to switch out, and that's fine. He's going to go ahead and switch in Heatran, expecting another Heat Wave. I instead just go ahead and switch out on myself. So, pretty good situation for me. My Jirachi is now out. Jirachi's not the best Pokemon to have against Heatran. This is a Scarf Jirachi, so even if he's Scarf-Tran, I don't have to worry, but I do want to switch out just in case. I do want to switch out basically because I don't think I have any moves that can really do anything to this guy. He goes ahead and goes for Sub, so this is the Sub, Heatran set. That is not going to be good for me. Scarf Heatran at least is a little bit counterable, but yeah, this isn't really good. So his Fire Blast misses. My Hydro Pump does not. That is incredibly lucky for me. Although, I mean, he wouldn't have taken me out with a single Fire Blast. It's not like it's super effective, but even so, not really a great situation. So he's going to go ahead and switch out. He's going to switch out into his Starmie, as I think I go for another Hydro Pump, just hoping that maybe he attacks instead of subbing. Really not a good move, because had he subbed and had I missed, it would have been a really bad situation. Anyway, gonna want to switch out, not gonna want to take, what, a Thunderbolt. Really, there's nothing I can do to that Starmie, so switching out is the good move. I go ahead into Mick, my signature Umbreon, who has pulled my ass out of the fire more often than not. He goes for Thunder Wave. This is great. He goes for Thunder Wave. I have Lumberry and Synchronize, so he's going to get paralyzed. Unfortunately, he has Natural Cure, so all that really does is waste my Lumberry. And to be honest, I would actually really prefer for my Umbreon to be paralyzed instead of, say, asleep or poisoned. But, oh well, this works. Going to want to Curse Up. So this is my set. Heal Bell, Curse, Payback, and Moonlight. It's actually extremely effective, although, you know, Heatran walls it, but then again, I kind of wall Heatran, because Heatran is very unlikely to be able to hit KO, so I can just go for the Moonlights and recover back up. So I go for the Payback. In Gen 4, I believe the power is doubled, thanks to the switch, so I get him down pretty low. Now, I have not gotten off any of my curses, but I'm just going to predict him to... I just decided I'm going to stay in, see what he's going to do. He goes for the U-turn. That's fine. As you see, it doesn't do too much damage, even though I am running a specially defensive set. It's a curse set, so basically you use a curse to get your defense up, and basically this thing proves pretty much impossible to kill, as long as your opponent doesn't have Roar. I go for another Payback. I was basically just trying to get the KO. Ain't gonna do jack against Heatran. Really is not gonna do jack against Heatran. His Heatran is gonna go for Fire Blast. It is going to do maybe a third, not even. So here my strategy is actually to try to stall him out. I go for the Heal Bell. It means that my Crobat is no longer Sleep Fodder, which means you can put one of my Pokemon to sleep. But it also means that I can use Crobat as a counter to Breloom later on. So here I go for the Moonlight, gonna recover my health way back up. And my strategy right now is to see if I can stall him out of Fire Blasts. So he's got 8 Fire Blasts. I think he's only used 1 by now. So this is now his second Fire Blast. It's gonna hit. It's gonna do a huge chunk of damage, but unless he crits me, I'm in a pretty good situation. I go for the Curse. Not sure why. I really should have gone for the Moonlight, but I'm going to survive. I'm just a smidgen of HP, and I'm really lucky he didn't crit me. If he critted me, I would have been screwed. Gonna go for another Moonlight. Gonna recover back up to more than half, but only a little bit more than half. And again, if he crits me and it's max damage, I might be in a bad situation. But really, I'm just stalling him out. So that was, what, 4 Fire Blasts? I'm gonna be honest. During the battle, I didn't keep track, as I should have. I really should have counted. And I'm not going to count it here. So here he decides he's going to waste the sub, and he's going to switch out because he knows that he's just stalling me out. He goes out into Breloom. I go for another Moonlight, and I'm going to get up now to full HP. So that's really awesome, and I'm in a really good situation. Now, he can Spore me, and I do have to be worried about that. He's going to go for a Sky Uppercut. I do have the Curse Up something. I can take that okay, or at least I should be able to. So I stay in, go for Payback, just in case he was going to do something like switching to someone else. Or if he was going to go for the Spore, I figured my Umbreon would be an okay Pokemon to have a Sleep Fodder. He goes for another Sky Uppercut. I'm actually foddering Mick out because I want the free switch into Crobat. I do not want another Pokemon put to sleep. So Mick did a great job stalling out that Heatran. But I needed to sacrifice someone, and I was hoping it would be Sleep Fodder, but it wasn't. So, anyway, Stella, my Crobat, is now out. Just going to go for the Brave Bird, because even though the move is really obvious, and he's obviously going to switch out, I just can't risk it. If I go for something else, and he goes for the Spore, I'm screwed. So he's going to go ahead and switch out into Heatran, and Brave Bird ain't going to do jack. So yeah, here we go. I go for the Brave Bird. yeah, I mean, it's resisted. And Heatran is pretty bulky, and it's running a substitute set, so it's obviously running a bulkier set. Here I go for the taunt, so at least I'm going to get something accomplished in that he's not going to be able to sub. So that's good. He goes for the Flash Cannon. Either that means that he's saving the Fire Blasts, or he didn't use PP Max or missaved, and he doesn't have any more Fire Blasts yet, so I'm guessing here that he's still got a Fire Blast or two, and he's just saving them. But, you know, I'm not 100% sure. It could be that he's out. So here he's going to switch out, as he's realizing that I'm just stalling him out. So I think that means he might actually be out of Fire Blast, although I think he really just might be saving them for when he needs them. So I really can't say anything. Here I go for the U-turn. We both switch out on the same turn. I do not get the KO against his... I do not get the KO against his Gliscor, which is unfortunate. I really am not sure why I sent out Pazuzu here. I should have gone out into Empoleon, who could have KO'd with Aqua Jet. But, you know, oh well. He's going to go for Stone Edge. I can take that. I can take that. I showed you before that I could take that, and here I show you I could take it. I go for Hidden Power Grass just on the off chance he switches out into Heatran. I never got Rocks up. I do have Rocks on this team. My Empoleon is kind of a modified lead Empoleon, and it does carry the Stealth Rocks, but I just never set him up. So now my opponent's going to go out into Breloom, and I am just going to try to go for the Heat Wave, even though it's so obvious, even though really this is a bad move. I just figure, you know, I gotta take out this Breloom, and he's gonna predict. I mean, there was no question that he was going to predict. My opponent is not an idiot, and that's why I'm posting this battle to PMP, that my opponent really wasn't an idiot and did a bunch of really good plays. So now he gets the Flash Fire Boost, and I'm like, I don't know how many Heat Waves he has left. I go for the Discharge here, knowing that I outspeed, you know, pretty sure that I outspeed a defensive set. Discharge ain't doing jack. And now he's going to go for the sub. I don't know that I can break the sub. This is really not good. This Heatran, especially if he has, I guess he could have potentially 3 more Fire Blasts. And if he has those 3 more Fire Blasts, I'm not in a good situation. So yeah, he's going to go for Toxic here. And my Cleric is down, so that means that my Zapdos is now on a counter, and that's not good. He's going to withdraw, knowing that I can break his subs, knowing that I have Roost, and knowing that he really doesn't want to get into a long drawn-out stall battle. He goes out into his Breloom. I go for the Discharge. It's going to do a pretty big chunk. I don't know whether I can take him out with another Discharge, but I'm going to try. Now, the poison damage is going to sap my health more and more. Now, I do consider going for the Heat Wave. Do I go for the Heat Wave? Do I go for the Discharge? Do I go for the Hidden Power Grass? Going for the Hidden Power Grass would be silly. I decide I'm just going to go for the Roost because he can't Spore me. This is actually excellent, I realize, that I'm poisoned, because that means that I can't be put to sleep. So I'm going to Roost, see what he's planning on doing. He goes for the Stone Edge. I'm on the ground. That's not going to do anything. It actually does more than I was thinking. But I'm physically defensive. I can take that. He decides he's going to switch out, predicting the Heat Wave. And his Heatran is right back out. Gonna go for the Heat Wave. I fall for it again and activate his Flash Fire. Ooh, that's so bad. But you know what? Just gonna go for the Discharge here, and I'm gonna hope that I can stall him out, at least get his health pretty low. He goes for the Flash Cannon. I really think he must be out of Fire Blast. That's the only way this makes any sense, which must mean that he missaved, or he didn't use PP Maxes if he actually is a legitimate breeder. So now I'm going to get taken out from the poison, but it does mean I have a free switch out into someone else, and his Heatran's now down pretty low. That's probably not Aqua Jet range. Now I look at the Pokemon that I have. I decide I'm going to send out Foopaloop, which is my banded Mamoswine. I believe it's adamant and not jolly, which means that depending on some of his Pokemon sets, they could definitely outspeed me. But he decides to switch out here. I think I would be outspeeding his Heatran, and that's basically the key thing. So here he switches out into Starmie. Unfortunately, Starmie cannot take a banded Earthquake, especially with prior damage, but even without prior damage, I mean, it's pretty frail. So now I'm hoping that I outspeed. I'm not sure that I do. I don't want to risk it. I really don't want to risk it. So I'm going to withdraw Foopaloop because I just do not want to risk the fact that he might outspeed. I'm going to go out into Jirachi. If he predicts that and goes for the Spore, I'm kind of screwed. Instead, he just goes for the Sky Uppercut. It's going to do a massive amount of damage, but I do survive. Now my set, I am Scarfed, and I could go for the Fire Punch, which is super effective, but don't want to do that because he's got Heat Trance, so I figured go for the Zen Headbutt because it's still super effective. It's actually going to do more damage, and Heatran will not be immune to it. So I go for the Zen Headbutt. As I said, it's super effective, and I am able to take him out. He didn't carry the Mach Punch, which, you know, it's not Technaloom. Technaloom didn't exist in Gen 4, so I do manage to take out his Breloom, and now he's down to his last Pokemon, which is Heatran. And here's the thing, so at its range of health, I'm going to go for the Zen Headbutt, I'm pretty sure he doesn't have any Fire Blasts, otherwise he would have used them. I get a crit. Now, I'm not sure whether that crit mattered for getting him below Substitute range, but I'm very grateful that I did get that crit, although I could have taken him out with the rest of my Pokemon. I do still have Empoleon, so I'm going to go for another Zen Headbutt. He's down below the range where he can make subs, and so this is GG. This is, I will either get flinches or I won't, but it doesn't matter. His Flash Cannons really aren't doing very much. Oh yeah, I survived that hit, I believe, on 3. There you see, I survived that hit on 3. Not sure whether that was min damage or not, but it doesn't matter. Gonna go for the Zen Headbutt, going to get another crit, and I'm going to win the game. But again, had I not gotten it and had I died, I would have just revenge killed with an Aqua Jet from my Empoleon. So great game, Dissuto. I hope you folks enjoyed that battle. Feel free to check out my channel. Just be warned that I don't really post PBR battles anymore. So long, folks.